Welcome to Sounds of Brass.
Now, it's over to Peter Webster. In the Sounds of Brass newsroom, for this week's latest Sounds of Brass news.
The National Youth Brass Band of Great Britain has announced that internationally renowned conductor Martin Brabbins has taken up appointment president of the organisation, taking on the role vacated by Elgar Howarth following his passing early this year. In a recent statement, the NYBBGB announced that it was honoured Martin Brabbins had accepted the role of president of the organisation with immediate effect. Brabbins is one of the UK's most respected and accomplished conductors. His prestigious career includes roles as a chief conductor of the Malmö Symphony Orchestra and Symphonic Orchestra of India, and musical director of English National Opera from 2016 to 2023. Though best known for his work across opera and symphonic repertoire as a former euphonium player, his musical roots are firmly planted in brass banding. Martin commented by saying, "I'm thrilled to become president of the National Youth Brass Band of Great Britain, succeeding Elgar Howarth in his role is a wonderful privilege. My own musical roots are in brass bands, and this appointment feels like coming full circle." The NYBBGB is an institution that has absolutely fundamental. I'm excited to actively support the next generation of young musicians and to help build creative new partnerships across the musical landscape. The NYBBGB confirmed that Martin Brabbins will take on an active and outward-facing role, using his international profile to advocate for the organisation and to help build meaningful artistic collaborations. Congratulations is going out to the Brighouse and Rastrick Band on winning the British Open title at the Symphony Hall in Birmingham last weekend. The band and its musical director, Professor David King, provided a scintillating performance of Stephen Roberts' Star-Crossed Lovers, which found unanimous favour with the adjudicating team. Already buoyant, the band's second Open victory in 4 years was further compounded with the addition of 2 individual honours for Best Euphonium by Chris Robertson and Best Soprano Player being played by Ashley Marston. The defending champions from Switzerland had to be content with second place this year, although their performance was also described by the judges as stunning. Tries et al. Were perhaps unlucky to directly follow the champions onto the contest platform. In a welcome return to contesting form, third place was awarded to Corey, with the incredible talents of Tom Hutchinson on principal cornet were rewarded with the best soloist and inaugural Philip McCain Best Cornet Prize. The top 6 was completed by Fordens in 4th place, a resurgent Aldbourne in 5th, with Leyland finishing 6th. The Stanley Wainwright Memorial Trophy, which went to Tom Hutchinson on cornet with Corey. Brian Evans, the Memorial Trophy for Best Soprano, Ashley Marsden from Brighouse and Rastrick. The Godfrey Wiltham Memorial Trophy for Best Euphonium was presented to Chris Robertson from Brighouse and Rastrick. Phil McCain Trophy for Best Cornet also went to Tom Hutchinson from Corey. Brighouse and Rastrick will receive an invitation from Brass Band England to represent England at the 2027 European Championships in Montreal in Switzerland. Unfortunately, Oldham Band Lees and Whitburn were relegated to the Grand Shield. The European Brass Band Association, the EBBA, is pleased to extend an invitation to participate in the European Soloist Competition for brass and percussion instruments to be held in Linz, Austria in April next year. The Soloist Competition will happen in conjunction with the 47th European Brass Band Championships in association with World of Brass. A maximum of 20 applicants will be selected from video submissions in the preliminary round. By having the number of competitors invited to Linz limited to 20, we can be sure that the standard will be very high, said ULF Rosenberg, president of the European Brass Band Association. On April the 20th, 2026, each competitor selected to perform in Linz for the first round will give a performance with a work of their own choice. From this first round, 8 competitors will be selected by the jury to play in the second round on the 21st of April 2026. The competition culminates with 3 soloists who will qualify for the final to be held on the 23rd of April 2026. The 3 finalists chosen by the distinguished international jury will perform a concerto or extended concert piece chosen by the EBBA Music Commission. The finalists will be accompanied by a championship section brass band in the soloist final concert on Thursday the 23rd of April. Entries must be submitted no later than the 15th of January 2026. For more information and to enter, then please visit www.ebba.eu.com. That's www.ebba.eu.com. The music panel of the National Brass Band Championships has announced the regional test pieces for next year's qualifying contests. The panel, comprising artistic Dr. Robert Childs, Duncan Beckley, Andrea Price, Sandy Smith and John Mains, with Chairman Philip Morris and Tim Jones as administrator, has selected the following set music for the 2026 Regional Championships. The championship section will play Elgar Variations by Martin Ellerby, published by Studio Music. The first section will play Variations on Was the Bet by Andrew Wainwright, published by SP&S. The second section, 20 Leagues Under the Sea by Philip Harper, published by Harper Music. The third section will play 3 Howarth Impressions by Gordon Langford, published by Chandos. And the fourth section will play Indian Summer by Eric Ball, published by Studio Music, formerly R. Smith & Co. The provisional dates for the 2026 sections 1 to 4 national finals are the 26th and 27th of September for Cheltenham. The championship section's final date in October at the Royal Albert Hall has yet to be confirmed. Oldroyd Brassworks is offering brass band players the opportunity to purchase instruments recently performed on by members of the Black Dyke Band. As the official reseller agent, each instrument is accompanied by a certificate of authority, ensuring its provenance and connection to the band's remarkable legacy. Opportunities are limited and interest is expected to be very, very high. To inquire about availability or to request a specific instrument, please contact directly at www.brassworks.uk. That's www.brassworks.uk. It is with great sadness that the death has been announced of Harry Cooper, the much admired and loved player with extensive personal and business ties to both the Salvation Army and the secular banding world. He was 78. He passed away peacefully at the hospice in Perth on the 29th of August with his wife Lorraine and his two sons Nigel and Paul by his bedside. A fine player, he enjoyed playing for a number of years with Perthshire Brass. The band will be competing at the Cheltenham National Finals this weekend and will be taking with them the famous Salvation Army tartan ties that were designed by Harry as mark of affectionate tribute. Harry was also well known as the Director of Sales for PLC Music Limited and was a much-loved figure on the contest circuit, ready to simply chat away with customers and anyone else passing. His pride in his family's achievements was obvious. The private funeral service will be held at Perth Crematorium on Friday the 19th of September. The organisers of the popular Whitehaven Festival of Brass have released the draws for each of the sections of its event that takes place on Saturday, November the 1st at the Montford School in Evesham. With its generous prize funds, it has attached a dozen bands to compete in its championship section, with the highest placed band not already qualified for the 2026 British Open Spring Festival gaining the invitation to the Senior Trophy Contest in Birmingham, which will be held next May. With bands able to perform in multiple sections, there will be the opportunity to enjoy a full day of entertainment in each section. Tickets for the event can be purchased either online or on the day. You can visit www.ticketsource.co.uk/festival-of-brass. That's www.ticketsource.co.uk/Whitehaven-festival-of-brass. Championship section, which will be held in the Sports Hall. The adjudicator is Shona White and the event starts at 2 p.m. The first section, which will be held in the main hall, the adjudicator is Mark Wilkinson and will commence at 10:30 a.m. The second section will be held in the small hall. The adjudicator is Danny Brooks and will commence at 9:30 a.m. The third section will be held in the gymnasium. The adjudicator is Brett Baker and will commence at 10 a.m. and the fourth section will be held in the small hall. The adjudicator is Luke Barker and it will commence at 3:30 p.m. Philip Sparks' 2024 European Championship set work, A Road Less Travelled, will be the test piece for the elite level Premier Grade contenders at the 2026 Yamaha Australian National Brass Band Championships. The event to be held in Brisbane from the 2nd to the 5th of April was to have featured Lucy Pankhurst, the Ghost of Industry. It has already been performed at the 2025 First Section North American Brass Band Championship contest and had gained widespread critical acclaim after being performed by Anthena Brass at the 2025 RNCM International Brass Band Festival. It is understood that the work was specifically written for first section level band contesting. The first Premier Grade contest was held in 2024 in Victoria and was set up to address the apparent disparity between the playing standards of top-ranked and bottom-ranked bands competing across all open brass grades. Set works to be played are Premier Grade A, Road Less Travelled by Philip Spark, A Grade Toccata e Fantasia by Thomas Doss, B Grade Prisms by Peter Graham, C Grade Invisible Fire by Dr. Dorothy Gates, and D Grade The Keeper of the Winds by Benjamin Tubb Hearn. Live from the Sounds of Brass newsroom, I'm Peter Webster, and that was your weekly catch-up of brass band entertainment, and brass band world news.